While the president pitches more spending, newly elected Senator Scott Brown says start cutting. He is calling for an across-the-board tax cut. Craig Smith says, yeah, it's about time. He's CEO of Swiss America. Craig, you started a business, you started small, you built it up. Why are you not hiring right now? The president wants you to.
I'm very concerned about where taxes are going, Stuart, and I'm very uncertain about where this administration is going to turn next. That's why Scott Brown has this right, Stuart. If you go back into the 20s, we cut taxes, created 59% growth. In the 60s, President Kennedy cut taxes. We had a 42% increase in growth, 62% increase in revenues to the Treasury. Mr. Reagan cut. In the 80s, we saw a 36% growth pattern, more revenues. Mr. Bush cut in 2003, Stuart, and created 2.5 million jobs, non-governmental jobs. Tax cuts work, Stuart.
But President Obama shows no sign whatever of shifting from his chosen course and cutting taxes. In fact, he specifically said he's going to raise taxes. You really have no hope of a tax cut at this point, do you?
No, and it's crazy, Stuart, because he has to ignore history. He has to ignore the data that's out there that would say that's exactly what we need right now, Stuart. Think about it. We have a lack of demand in our economy. If you put more money in all people's hands, you'll create demand. Demand will then in turn make employers need to hire people to meet that demand. It's just so basic and so simple. Well, and that's why businessmen like me, I was telling your producer, I could hire 75 more people tomorrow, but I'm so concerned about the next move this administration is going to make, I can't do it, Stuart. It doesn't make business sense.
What we're constantly told by a lot of people is that it was the Bush tax cuts early in that decade that led to the fiasco in the fall of 2008 that led to the big deficits. They don't agree with your reading of history.
Well, Stuart, you and I both know that the data would not support that position. It's just not true. Look, we had a lot of things that created the problem in 2008. Very lax lending standards. I mean, we could go right through the gambit. The bottom line is that was yesterday. Where do we go now?
Well, look,
we have empirical data.
You're not going to get a tax cut. So I'm going to ask you, what are you going to do with your business? Are you just flat out not going to hire?
We are frozen right now, Stuart. I've got everything on hold right now. We're actually preparing for a very slow period. I think this recovery is going to stall out unless Mr. Obama gets it in his head that we've got to have more of the money going to the people and less of the money going to the government. The government can mess up a one-piece puzzle, Stuart, and we're going to end up giving them more money to make more mistakes. Let's give the money to the people. Let the people spend the money. 72% of GDP is consumption, and we will see this economy recover. Revenues will come back, and we'll get ourselves back on track.
Craig Smith, we hear you. And thanks for joining us, sir. We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.